Nome must resign or face impeachment. I don't know. Oh my God. He sprayed napkin. I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we'll go. We'll continue. No, we will continue. No. You need to go get... No. Abolishment of the agency. ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know. Oh my God. He sprayed napkin. I need a napkin to know nothing. Will continue. No. You need to go get... No, we won't continue. These are not going to get away with. No.
To know nothing. No, we'll go with it. No, we will continue. No. You need to go get checked. No, we will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away with it. You need to go get checked. No, I don't know what. That's whatever it is smells so bad. She needs to go get checked. I don't know what that was. That's what they want. Please don't let them have it. It's not about him, Ilhan. It's not about him. It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on you. You need to go get checked. Yeah, and it smells terrible. We're gonna keep talking. Just give me 10 minutes. I beg you. Please don't let them have the show. Please don't let them have the show. Please don't let them have the show. Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand. We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us. Everybody settle down. I'm going to finish my remarks. It is important for me to continue to lead my Democratic colleagues in demanding her resignation.
Washington Today for Monday, January 26th, 2026. I'm Gary Sterkoff. Thank you for joining us. It's a snow day in the nation's capital. Welcome to an abbreviated Washington Today for Monday, January 26th, 2026. I'm Gary Sterkoff. Thank you for joining us. It's a snow day in the nation's capital. Much of the federal government is closed. The House is in a district work period this week. The Senate is in today, but votes have been put off until tomorrow because of the weather. Of course, the Senate must pass a 6-bill spending package by Friday at midnight to avoid a government shutdown. The package includes funding for the Department of Homeland Security through September 30th, which several Senate Democrats have said they will not support. At the White House, President Trump said he talked to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz today, and in a social media statement, the president said, quote, "Governor Tim Walz called me with a request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him and that what we were looking for are any and all criminals that they have in their possession. The governor, very respectfully, understood that, and I will be speaking to him in the near future. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to Minnesota, and so am I. We have had such tremendous success in Washington, D.C., Memphis, and New Orleans, and virtually every other place that we have touched. And even in Minnesota, crime is way down, but both Governor Walz and I want to make it better." That from the president on social media today. Governor Walz also put out a statement to the Bulwark's Sam Stein. He said he had a productive call with the president earlier today. The statement went on to say the governor made the case that we need impartial investigations of the Minneapolis shootings involving federal agents, and that we need to reduce the number of federal agents in Minnesota. The president agreed that he would talk to his Department of Homeland Security about ensuring the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is able to conduct an independent investigation, as would ordinarily be the case. The president also agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota and working with the state in a more coordinated fashion on immigration enforcement regarding violent criminals. Now, Governor Walz's statement went on to say the governor reminded President Trump that the Minnesota Department of Corrections already honors federal detainers by notifying Immigration and Customs Enforcement when a person committed to its custody isn't a U.S. citizen. There is not a single documented case of the department's releasing someone from state prison without offering to ensure a smooth transfer of custody. That from Minnesota Governor Tim Walz in a statement to the Bulwark's Sam Stein. Now, earlier today, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt held a briefing. Here's what she told reporters.
Nobody in the White House, including President Trump, wants to see people getting hurt or killed in America's streets. This includes Renee Good, Alex. Includes Renee Good, Alex. Includes Renee Good, Alex. There was no need for all of that to go down in the way that it did. It is just an example of how out of control ICE is. It's why I call on Kristi Noem to resign. It's why I call on ICE to get out of these cities and these states. Donald Trump needs to rein this in and take this back. We have people who are clearly untrained who work for ICE now. As you know, a lot of people were recruited with $50,000 bonuses, come work for ICE. Minimal training. I've talked to colleagues in other states. Some of the training is online training. Online training. You would never run a law enforcement agency or any agency, frankly, with online training. And what we have seen happen in Minnesota now, week after week, is action and conduct that is not consistent with good law enforcement practices, is harming public safety. It's not helping public safety. We actually have the safety and the well-being of lives of residents and Americans threatened by ICE's presence in these places. And I don't know what else it's going to take. I encourage people to read the statement of Alex Preddy's parents, Susan and Michael Preddy. Read that. Take that in. Think about who this man was. An ICU nurse who served our veterans. And in that moment, watch the video. Watch any of the versions of the video. I know what I see. I see somebody who's standing with a cell phone, which, by the way, is a First Amendment protected right in this country. And I see him also looking to protect a woman who ICE was coming after, okay? That's what I saw. So my heart goes out to Alex Preddy, to his co-workers, and I really hope Americans take this in and understand the very sad and dangerous moment we've reached in this country. And it's why Kristi Noem has got to go. Kristi Noem's got to go. ICE has got to get out of these communities now. And Donald Trump needs to act and step up. And if he doesn't act, then Republicans in Congress need to force the accountability here, because we cannot continue to have Americans in our neighborhoods and cities and states across this country at risk.
Governor Healy also offered her view of the administration's response.
You know, remember, I come to this as a prosecutor, as a former attorney general, as somebody who investigated police-involved shootings and other criminal matters. And what did we see immediately? We saw immediately efforts to smear Alex Preddy and who he was. We saw lies, absolute lies. Look at the videos. We saw lies, and now more has come out. We've seen the head of the FBI not even understand Second Amendment law, right? We've seen the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, with whom I served, making outrageous, illegal, unlawful threats to state officials, essentially extortion, saying, produce your voter rolls, in exchange for ICE leaving town. That's not right. You know, what was it last week? We saw the disclosure of an ICE memo to ICE employees that basically said, throw away everything we've done for 250 years, throw away the Fourth Amendment. You have the right to go right into someone's home. As governor of Massachusetts, that infuriates me. Because 250 years ago, it was a lawyer named James Otis who stood before a court here in the Commonwealth and said it is wrong for British soldiers to be able to go into people's homes without a warrant and ransack their property. That's what led John Adams to write the Massachusetts Constitution, which said that's wrong and people have a right. People have a right. And that right later appeared in the United States Constitution, the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment. So here we are celebrating 250 years of American history, and we've got a federal administration that's ready to throw out the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment. I could go on.
Massachusetts Democratic Governor Maura Healey earlier today. Now, back here in Washington, as we said, the Senate is in today on their agenda a 6-bill spending package they must pass by Friday to avoid a government shutdown. The package includes funding for the Homeland Security Department through the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. Several Senate Democrats have said they will not support that. And today, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer
Airline. FBI Director Kash Patel said in a Sunday interview, quote, "You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest." Does the president believe the Second Amendment rights remain in effect even when protesting?
The president supports the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding American citizens. Absolutely. There has been no greater supporter or defender of the right to bear arms than President Donald J. Trump. So while Americans have a constitutional right to bear arms, Americans do not have a constitutional right to impede lawful immigration enforcement operations. And any gun owner knows that when you are carrying a weapon, when you are bearing arms and you are confronted by law enforcement, you are raising the assumption of risk and the risk of force being used against you. And again, that's unfortunately what took place on Saturday. I would also like to address the chaotic scenes in Minnesota over the weekend. Nobody in the White House, including President Trump, wants to see people getting hurt or killed in America's streets. This includes Renee Good, Alex Preddy, the brave men and women of federal law enforcement, and the many Americans who have been victimized at the hands of illegal alien criminals. Saturday's shooting remains under active investigation by Homeland Security Investigations and the FBI. The Customs and Border Protection is also conducting their own internal review. As President Trump said yesterday, the administration is reviewing everything with respect to the shooting, and we will let that investigation play out. But let's be clear about the circumstances which led to that moment on Saturday. This tragedy occurred as a result of a deliberate and hostile resistance by Democrat leaders in Minnesota. For weeks, Governor Walz and the Mayor Jacob Fry and other elected Democrats were spreading lies about federal law enforcement officers who are risking their lives daily to remove the worst criminal illegal aliens from our streets: murderers, rapists, pedophiles, human traffickers, and gang members. Governor Walz and Mayor Fry have shamefully blocked local and state police from cooperating with ICE, actively inhibiting efforts to arrest violent criminals. They have also used their platforms to encourage left-wing agitators to stalk, record, confront, and obstruct federal officers who are just trying to lawfully perform their duties, which has created dangerous situations threatening both these officers and the general public and Minnesotans alike. This is precisely what unfolded in Minneapolis on Saturday morning. Obstructing federal law enforcement and inciting violence against officers is wrong and illegal. This used to be a universally accepted position in the United States. Amid the hysteria, we must remember how we got here to this moment today and what this Democrat opposition is about. Former President Joe Biden and the Democrats opened America's borders for 4 years, inviting tens of millions of illegal aliens from all over the world to flood into our country. Among them, violent criminals who terrorized American communities and have inflicted devastating, permanent pain and harm on law-abiding Americans and their families. Yet we never saw outrage from Democrats or their allies in the liberal media over these horrifying crimes against U.S. citizens. The pain of American angel families was ignored and dismissed because it undermined the Democrat narrative. Innocent Americans like Jocelyn Nungray, Laken Riley, and Rachel Morin are just a few of the many victims savagely murdered by illegal alien criminals. Earlier this month, an illegal alien from Mexico with a long criminal history who came into our country under Joe Biden's administration threw a baseball-sized stone at a school bus carrying children in New Jersey and fractured the skull of an 8-year-old innocent child. President Trump promised accountability to these American families by securing the border, deporting every illegal alien who has committed crimes, especially and most importantly, violent crimes. Nearly 80 million Americans voted for him to deliver on that very promise, and he is. As the duly elected president, the president is fulfilling the will of the people by arresting and removing these threats from our country in cities from Los Angeles to New York and, yes, Minneapolis. Yet Democrat leaders in Minnesota with sanctuary city policies have actively defied federal immigration law and the will of the people. And as a result of that defiance, 2 Minnesotans have now tragically lost their lives on the streets of Tim Walz's state. It is President Trump's hope and wish and demand for the resistance and chaos to end today. That's why President Trump spoke with Governor Walz directly this morning, and he has outlined a clear and simple path to restoring law and order in Minnesota. Number 1, Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and all Democrat leaders should turn over all criminal illegal aliens currently incarcerated in their prisons and jails to federal authorities, along with any illegal aliens with active warrants or known criminal histories for immediate deportation. Number 2, state and local law enforcement must agree to turn over all illegal aliens who are arrested by local police. And then thirdly, local police must assist federal law enforcement in apprehending and detaining illegal aliens who are wanted for crimes, especially violent crimes. If Governor Walz and Mayor Frey implement these common sense cooperative measures that I will add have already been implemented in nearly every single other state across the country, Customs and Border Patrol will not be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota. ICE and local law enforcement can peacefully work together, as they are effectively doing in so many other states and jurisdictions. Additionally, President Trump is calling on the United States Congress to immediately pass legislation ending sanctuary cities once and for all. American cities should be safe sanctuaries for law-abiding citizens only, not for dangerous illegal alien criminals who broke our nation's laws and do not belong here. We hope Governor Walz will do the right thing and continue to work with President Trump to keep the American people safe following their call this morning. Americans overwhelmingly want exactly what President Trump is delivering: strong borders and strict immigration enforcement against the worst illegal aliens, of which there are still hundreds of thousands to deport from the interior of our country. The most peaceful way to carry out this vital public safety mission is for Republicans and Democrats to do it together, and for state and local law enforcement to work together with federal law enforcement. We want to let cops be cops. You wouldn't know this continues to be a very popular policy position from the biased media coverage over the course of the last few days, but polling shows huge support for this exact thing President Trump is calling for. More than 80% of Americans favor deporting illegal aliens convicted of violent crimes. A country unable to deport criminals who enter it illegally is no country at all. The open borders agenda of Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and the Democrats was already on the ballot on November 5th, 2024, and it was resoundingly rejected. President Trump will never back down from his promise to deport violent criminal illegal aliens and make America safe again, and he welcomes all cooperation in that effort.
Abolishment of the agency. ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know. Oh my God, he sprayed napkin. I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we'll go. We'll continue. No, we will continue. No. You need to go get. No, we won't continue. These are not going to get away with. No.
No, we will continue. No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked. No, we will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away with it. You need to go get checked. No, you don't know what. That's whatever it is smells so bad. She needs to go get checked. I don't know what that was. That's what they want. It's not about him, Ilhan. It's not about him. It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on you. You need to go get checked. Yeah, and it smells terrible.
We're gonna keep talking. Just give me 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. I beg you. Please don't let them have the show. 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 Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand. We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us. Everybody settle down. I'm going to finish my remarks. It is important for me to continue to lead my Democratic colleagues in demanding her resignation.
deeply powered by AI. Filmora 15 understands your intent, dissolving the space between thought and action. When creativity and AI merge, every gap. When creativity and AI merge, every gap is gracefully.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gladstein, will you tell me the organizations that pose on the domestic side, two of the organizations, number one, number two?